Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about programming and that it's not for everybody. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, I hear that programming isn't for everyone. Why is that? And what are the signs that programming isn't for me? Well, I would say that the reason why I believe that programming may not be for everybody is because some people genuinely don't want to sit hours and hours and hours, usually alone, staring at a computer screen trying to figure out how to solve a problem. And it feels very much on the bad days. It pretty much feels like you're the dumbest human being who's ever lived, and it's almost like taking a really tough math test. It exhausts you. At least it does for me. Maybe you love math, but for quite a lot of people, I hope that you can relate to how it feels to take a test which you feel like you're completely ill-equipped to deal with, and at some point you just want to quit. I mean, in school you could just walk out and say, I'm just going to take this bad grade. In software development you can't, because then you get fired. You have to solve the problem. You can ask for help sometimes if you're lucky and you have good coworkers, but you have to solve the problem. And if you can't, you're going to have to sit there until one or two things happens. Either you get fired or you solve the problem. That's a lot of pressure for a lot of people. And as you can imagine, being in that position where you need to maintain high levels of concentration and really think a lot of complicated, sometimes, problems through well enough that you can figure out what's going on, and then trying things and experimenting, feeling like you don't understand, reading a bunch of documentation that you don't really want to read, but you have to read it because otherwise you don't understand what the problem is, and going through this every single day is not something that is for everybody. The thing is, though, that there are so many positive sides to it as well. If you do enjoy trying to figure out figuring out different problems, and if you enjoy feeling empowered to create things, like really real things from scratch, and being able to build meaningful applications and so forth, then this is the greatest thing in the world. But that is the dark side of it all. That's the cost that you pay to be able to do that. It's like working out. Everybody wants to have a six pack, but nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to put in all the work that it takes to be a bodybuilder or something like that. It's the same deal. If you want to be able to make all these amazing things and make all that money that you've been hearing about, you're going to have to put in that work. And that's the part that we don't tell you about. It's like the hacker movies. Everybody in Hollywood is going to show you that you can hack a computer in 30 seconds, when a real hacker will tell you that it can take weeks, depending on the system. If you're lucky and they made every single mistake possible, you might be able to do it in a few minutes, but usually they don't. It's much tougher than that. So to figure out whether or not programming is for you, I'd like to say this is a seeing that I have myself, and I still believe that this is absolutely true. If you can spend an entire day trying to figure out why something isn't working, you don't have to love every second of it. You just need to continuously try to fix it and like really try. And it starts wearing you down. And the second you solve that bug, it's like you forget about the whole problem. It's like, oh, now, oh, this is fixed, and then you just let go of all that frustration. Then and you can continue as like, oh yeah, it was great. Now we can actually get back to work and do the real thing. Then this is definitely the industry for you, because letting go of this, this is the gauntlet every programmer has to run. We all have to go through the sensation of being stupid, like always feeling like we're stupid many times throughout our career, and going from not understanding, trying to figure things out, trying to find clues, and like just slapping our heads against the desk until something useful falls out, and then it solves the problem, and then it's like, wow, now we feel good about it again, and then we continue. This is the process of software development. The better you get at it, the less head smashing you're going to do, but you're still going to do it. I promise you're still going to do it. And if you feel that the rewards, the fulfillment that you feel from actually building something when it actually works. It's like being an inventor. You blow up something 100 times or 1,000 times, and then it works, and that thing feels so fucking great that it's like you forget about all those failures because it feels so good to solve the problem. If you can let go of that frustration when things actually go your way, then this is definitely the industry for you. But if you let this weigh you down and you feel if you feel constantly bad, you feel like you're dumb all the time, and you feel like you're never happy, even like you never feel fulfilled. It does, like, you keep on trying, it's just hard, it's not really that fun, you don't really get any enjoyment, it feels like you're just rolling from one massive failure that someone has to solve for you to another massive failure that someone has to solve for you, and you just keep this negative feedback cycle over and over, and you can't really emotionally let it go, then I urge you, don't do this to yourself. It's not worth it. The money isn't that great. There's other ways that you can survive than being a software developer. So what I want you to take away from this is that the science, at least for me, whether or not programming is for you, comes down to whether or not you feel enough fulfillment to outweigh all the work that you have to put into solving things. Because in the beginning of things, it's like, as I said, a gauntlet. You're going to go through a lot of trials in order to get to a point where you can consistently, without a lot of energy, produce good results. But it never goes away. You're always going to face problems practically on a daily basis where you might not know exactly what's going on. This never goes away. It's for life. And if you can let go of all the frustration that you feel and the anxiety you feel from not making things work immediately, and once you get that thing working, it's like all of that stuff never happened, then this is definitely the industry for you. But if you let this thing get to you to the point where it's starting to affect your overall life and your overall happiness, and you feel like you're getting more and more depressed, and it really doesn't, even if this problem gets solved, it doesn't really fulfill you, then you shouldn't be doing this. Then you should do. I think that there are so many other things that you could be doing, and there's no shame in admitting that something is not for you. Trust me, being a software developer, it's great and I love it, but it's not the only thing out there. We are all different people, and there's so many ways that we could find a fulfilling life out there. Have a great day.